The Kenyan economy is at its knees. If you ask any Kenyan, any reasonable woman or man on the street, youth, old, young on the street, how they feel economically today compared to this date last year, all Kenyans will agree in unison that life has become tougher, except those living off the legacy of taxpayers' money. They were broke last year when outside government, and now they are inside. The president needs to align his promises with the budget, since it's the government budget that will tell you the government's priority. Now that Solomonic economics has been launched in town, how can it help Kenyans out of this quagmire, especially using the budget as an economic tool? Allocating resources is a very critical economic decision that determines which nation succeeds and which nation fails. Development partners pump money into different countries almost in the same way, but the same question remains: why are some countries progressing while others are stagnating? The answer is majorly in how resources are allocated. In that regard, resource allocation is at the core of any economic model, and Solomonic economics is no exception. Currently, some economists believe that we ought to prioritize the worst affected segments of the economy as we move towards the least affected. It is the reason development partners such as World Bank, US Aid, UK Aid prioritize the least developed economies like Juba, Somalia, etc. We also have trickle-down and bottom-up and middle-out economics. In Kenya, with a long tradition, we have experimented the devolution to kill political priorities in resource distribution, which has been disguised as national priorities. But devolution has also suffered political priorities as governors use the resources depending on their matters, the party leader, that gifted them with a ticket to their electoral seats. This is why they budget for corruption to retain political power. Solomonic economics believes that budgeting process ought to apply the principle of subsidiarity in national budgeting process. This is because though in Kenya we are trying so hard to decentralize through devolved system of governments, there are still many obstacles towards achieving maximum benefit for the citizens. Since decentralization means getting close to citizens, knowing their needs and priorities, involving them in decision-making directly, it will be Solomonic to give new approach to how national budgets are made. Rather than preparing national budgets that include the budgets of subnational levels in the name of national priorities, it will be more impactful to reach national budget only after developing and balancing the priorities of the different subnational budgets. It should be the subnational government's priorities that inform the national budget and not the other way around. That means budgeting should be from subnational governments to national governments, while resource distribution or allocation is from the national government to subnational governments after you have defined the priorities at the subnational level. This is just like the head of the household listens to all the needs of the children of the house or members of the house before allocating resources. National government needs to listen to subnational budgets. If a father would sit down on his desk and allocate resources without listening, he would prioritize non-family priorities like drinking with friends, doing parties and foreign trips, mpango wa candles, etc. But if he was to listen to his household first before doing a budget, he would factor in the resource allocation from the top down, factor in the needs of each and every family, and everyone will be happy before the father of the home is happy. Because they say leaders eat last. Let us not have leaders that eat first, is when citizens eat second. Thank you.